Fuck is up? It's your boy Scott Walker. You're checking in. It's Monday, uh, April 28th of the year 2025. I was at the beach over the weekend. It's my second. I did back-to-back beach weekends. It's pretty fucking chill. Went down to Watercolor, Florida. It's pretty fucking dope. This time I went with my parents, my brother Greg, and my wife. It's just a chill weekend, just catching up with the old ma and pa, hanging out with my wife. Good times, good vibes, good people. But we're back on the grind, back to work today. I've also been going pretty hard with the training. I've been doing like 2-a-days basically. So I'll do like some sort of strength training and weightlifting early in the morning uh, during the work week. So I'll lift weights, either like a full body workout or core or some sort of dynamic weighted plyometric or something sports specific. And then at night, I'm either running or kickboxing and boxing or even fucking jumping rope. So I do like cardio after work. It's pretty chill. I just got back from ran a 5K, 5 bands. Just got done running 5 bands, you know. Quick little 5 bands. And then I ate a cornbread hemp THC CBD edible. It's legal. You can buy it, get it shipped to you. It's a legal U.S. product. Farm Bill compliant. It's a sleep supplement. And I'm a law-abiding citizen, U.S. American. There's nothing you can do about it. I can vibe off of a low THC edible if I want to. That's generally, I don't smoke weed. But if I do partake in a legal U.S. high, that's totally legal. I eat one of these cornbread hemp gummies that you can get shipped to you. Shout out to Cornbread Hemp. They're out of Louisville, Kentucky. Shout out Kentucky. That's where all my family's from. It's a state that's history is rich with hemp. It's a very pro-hemp state historically. Because it's actually at the same latitude as the Kush Mountains, apparently, which makes it a good climate to grow Kush. That's what I've read. The fucking Kush, the Hindu Kush in the fucking Middle East, same latitude as Kentucky. That's what I read somewhere. I don't know if it's true. Whatever, dude. I'm off the fucking Hindu Kush. Yay! Doing my Tourette's. All right. So, yeah, ran a little 5 bands. It's pretty good. I was getting kind of tired early, and I was like, you know what? Let's cut it short today, you know? I mean, 1 mile is a good run. Heck, 1.5 miles or 2 miles. I really want to cut it. Whenever I'm like bargaining with myself, I'm like, 2 miles is a decent jog as well. Or you know what? Or you could just do 2.5. You don't have to do the full 3.12. It's like 3.12 is not that much, first of all. I used to run like double that on the regular, multiple times a week. But I try not to run too much from my knees. And because I'm heavy as shit. But yeah, whenever I'm doing that bargaining, I'm like, you know what? We could just do like 2.5 today. We could cut 0.6 off of that 5 bands. Cut a little bit over half a mile off, 2.5 miles sounds good. And I'm like, nah. We gotta keep going. We said we was gonna run 5 bands, we running 5 bands. Um, for the workout, the cardio workout, that's fucking ruthless and gangster that I did last week for the first time in a long time is on Thursday last week before Irish Bread Pub. Uh, I did I did sorry, I said Irish Bread Pub and then I wanted to also circle back to the comedy schedule. I only did 2 open mics last week, so I did like a little bit over 10 minutes. No, yeah, I did like 10 to 15 minutes probably in total. But that's it. So back to what I was saying. The workout that I did on Thursday before Irish Bread Pub was a 30 minutes of kickboxing, Muay Thai, but it's 30 minutes straight. So it's one round, 30 minutes, no breaks. Bag work at like roughly 65, 75%. Sometimes it might spike up to an 80. So it's like I'm basically going at like a moderate sparring pace. I'm hitting harder than sparring though in general. It's so it's like a decent sparring round or a decent sparring pace. I'm going for 30 minutes straight, no breaks. So it's just ba 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 ba. And I might do some footwork, move my body, move my head, do a little defense, and I'm right back to it. Like it's high volume. I'm not just like taking breaks. It's fucking 30 minutes of work. And dude, towards the end of it, I was like, holy shit. That was like the highest my heart rate has hit in a long time. But I felt like, oh dude, I felt like I was on fucking Uranus. I felt like I was on your mom's anus. I felt like I was on Pluto after I finished that workout. I was soaked. I was drenched in sweat. And I felt just like calmer than I have in a long time just because of how much energy was exerted. And my wife was clutch enough to pick up 2 bags of ice, so I just went and took an ice bath right after. Which the only time I don't ice bath after a workout is when I like lift weights, because like that's when I'm like trying to tear down the muscle specifically. Because like post workout inflammation is good. You want that post workout inflammation for the adaptations and mutations, basically. But for cardio stuff, I'm not trying to tear down my muscle. I am building muscle when I'm kickboxing or doing cardio and shit like that, but I'm not muscle building. So there's no threat of me like losing muscle mass. That was a cardio workout. And not gonna hurt to jump in the ice. All right, y'all don't give a fuck. But I was when I was down at the beach, I'm really into boxing history, and I just circled back to a story about Joe Louis. And I feel like there should be, if I had any connections in Hollywood or any financial backing and director buddies, I would tell him to make a movie about Joe Louis, man. His story is so amazing. So Joe Louis, he was actually born here in Chambers County, Alabama, which is like in between Auburn and Columbus, Georgia. He was born in like the early 1900s. And he moved to Detroit shortly after. I don't think he spent too much time in Chambers County, but he's from Chambers County, which is pretty tight. He was undefeated. He's one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. Very respected fighter. He was undefeated. He was like 24-0 in like the mid 1930s, like around like 1936. And he went up against Max Schmeling, which was a heavyweight from Germany, who handed Joe Louis his first loss. He actually, in the 12th round, I think it was probably either a 12 or 15 round fight. I assume 15 because that was kind of standard back then. But Schmeling finished Joe Louis in the 12th round, handing him his first loss. And Max Schmeling was, if you've ever seen the movie Cinderella Man with James Braddock, uh, that's the basically the evil guy, the antagonist is the German heavyweight champion, because Schmeling went on to win the championship, and then James Braddock, Cinderella Man, took the belt from him. Uh, or something like that. I can't remember where the belt was in that scenario, but so Joe Louis also beat James Braddock, I believe. But 2 years later, around 1938, World War II is on our doorstep. You know, tensions are rising. World War II is on the horizon, and Joe Louis is rematching Max Schmeling, the guy who handed him his first loss, and they're fighting for the heavyweight title. I don't know if it was vacant. I think it was vacant, maybe, and they were fighting for it. Or Max Schmeling had. I can't recall. Maybe Joe Louis. I forget who had the title. I just know it was a title fight. So they're fighting for the title against the guy who handed him his first loss. And the president calls Joe Louis to come visit him. And in his office, it's Franklin Delano FDR Roosevelt. He grabs Joe Louis by the arm. And he says, "We're going to need muscles like yours if we're going to beat Germany." And Joe Louis even talked about it in his autobiography about, like, he was like, "Man, the whole damn country was counting on me. I couldn't let them down." So he gave up the two things that he was like his distractions, which were golf and women. So he was like, I gave those up and just dedicated myself to training. And he was asked the night of the fight, he was asked before the fight. He was like, "Are you scared?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared I'm going to kill him. I'm scared I'm going to kill Schmeling." So Joe Louis goes out in the first round. You know, it's crazy that the president called him in. You know, he's like, we're trying to it's America versus Germany in this fight for the heavyweight championship to see who is superior. And we're calling on Joe Louis, a black man in the United States where he can't even go into certain places to eat. You know, he's still dealing with segregation and racism. This is the 1930s. And he's America's hope. Crazy. So, first round of the fight, Joe Louis annihilates him. Annihilates and finishes Max Schmeling in the first round to avenge his only loss at that point. He threw 41 punches in total and landed 31 of them. Schmeling, I think, only threw 2. I don't know if he landed any. But out of the 31 punches that Joe Louis landed, he broke several of Schmeling's vertebrae. He hit him so hard. He broke his fucking back, dog. Joe Louis was a tank. He holds up. He's one of the best heavyweights of all time, and his story's crazy. It's a real life Rocky story. Like, instead of it being America versus the Soviet Union in the Cold War era, this is literally like America versus Germany in the pre-World War II era. Like, it's a real life Rocky story. Schmeling is Ivan Drago. And Joe Louis is Rocky. He's Black Rocky. Rocky didn't have to deal with racism. Fucking Joe Louis did. But yeah, he broke his fucking back. And you know what's interesting is, like, later on, when he passed away, I think Reagan was president, and Reagan gave a speech about how Joe Louis's story is an indictment on bigotry in the United States and how people of color were treated. And that's pretty fucking awesome for him to say. It's like his footprint is bigger than just boxing. It's like he was what he did transcended the sport. And I think he waived something to where Joe Louis was buried with full honors because he was actually he actually did serve during World War II also. Um, I don't think it was like I think sometimes during times of war they do that. They bring on somebody that's like famous. I don't think he was actually like I don't think he actually deployed or anything like that. It was more like a celebrity enlistment to like raise awareness, build morale, inspire more people to join the military. Still an honorable thing to do. Because like even my grandpa didn't like Muhammad Ali because he served in World War II and he thought that Muhammad Ali should have. And I was like, that's totally. I understand why my grandpa didn't like that about him. I totally understand why Muhammad Ali didn't also. But I was like, if my grandpa felt that type of way about Muhammad Ali, I was like, Joe Louis is pretty tight, you know. I was like, he fucking was all about supporting the troops. So that's like how I pitched that comparison for people that don't like that Muhammad Ali didn't enlist for the troops. Joe Louis did. So shout out Joe Louis. Shout out Muhammad Ali. Not judging. But I think he was buried with full honors at some military place. I don't know. I can't remember. But the person that actually paid for his funeral, like paid for all his funeral expenses, and was a pallbearer at Joe Louis's funeral. Guess who it was? The dude who paid for it and was a pallbearer for Joe Louis. Max fucking Schmeling. Isn't that a cool full circle thing? That's ending credits. And then like Max Schmeling says something about how great of a man Joe Louis was and how he respected him. It'd be like Ivan Drago burying Rocky and then like out of respect, out of like a respectful stance, you know? That's insane. About Drago talking about how good of a man he was. Max Schmeling talking about how sick Joe Louis was. End credits. End credits. That's the movie. I just gave you a fucking movie. But there's tons of fucking amazing stories of black excellence in boxing. You can't be racist and be a fan of boxing and boxing history. Because literally the sport is dominated by black excellence and also Latinos. Mexican history is fucking amazing in boxing. There's tons of amazing Latino stories in boxing as well as African Americans. Like Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight champion in U.S. history, was fighting during like 19. He was like almost 30 years before Joe Louis, in like very racist America. Like Muhammad Ali is a quote. He's like, Jack Johnson was a big inspiration to me because he was boxing at a time where white people were lynching black people on weekends. And he was out here dating white women and knocking white people out, dealing with racist people that are sending him letters saying, like, if you beat that white man, we're going to kill you. And Jack Johnson would just respond, well, you're going to have to kill me because I'm beating that white dude's ass. And he'd fucking just clean white people's chins, dude. He'd get in the ring and just dish out fucking equal rights, equal lefts and equal rights, dog. Getting his fucking reparations into the body and to the head. Jack Johnson was a fucking gangster. He was fucking he was pissing white people off like crazy, dude. He was beating their ass. And he actually was like fucking a bunch of white women. They actually made it's some of the history on it's actually kind of sad because a lot of the white women were like looked at like gentrified from society. Like, a lot of the white chicks he fucked actually killed themselves because they were treated so bad by people, because people were mad that they fucked Jack Johnson. And there was actually a law that was created to persecute Jack Johnson. It was called the Mann Act, and it's like it made the act of taking women across state lines for purposes of debauchery, like a federal crime or like a state crime. I can't remember, but it was literally a law that was solely proposed and put in place to literally arrest Jack Johnson because he took women across state lines and fucked them. And he was pardoned. It took like almost 100 years for him to get pardoned for that. It was literally just a racist ass law that was designed to persecute Jack Johnson. Kind of crazy. That's how much he was pissing people off, dude. He was fucking white women and beating white people's ass. And he didn't give a shit if racist people were saying that they were going to kill him. He was like, good luck, dude. I'm going to keep beating white people's ass. It's fucking hilarious. I mean, it's sad that he had to go through with that, but it's gangster as fuck the way he dealt with it. And of course, there's Muhammad Ali, which is like one of the reasons I got into boxing. Is he was so inspiring the way he talked, and he's just one of a kind. I don't even have to go into the history on him because it's should just be common knowledge by now. But yeah, tons of great stories about black excellence in boxing, and nobody transcended the sport more than Muhammad Ali. I mean, he was the definition of being bigger than a sport. Like, Muhammad Ali is one of the most famous athletes of all time. Like, worldwide. Crazy. Crazy, crazy famous. I was thinking about this earlier, but in high school football, this is a weird transition, but we were talking about sports. It's weird that in high school football, we had to, like, fundraise for our equipment and stuff. Like, I was just remembering this, like, during the summer, we'd go out, they'd drop us off in the middle of, like, neighborhoods around around our high school. Like, in some kind of far neighborhoods too. And then we would just walk around in groups of, like, 4 soliciting, donations from people. Not donations, but we had, like, little, coupon books or, like, kinda like a coupon board that you could break off coupons for. It's kinda weird. But it just had a bunch of discounts to local businesses. And I was like, "What the fuck is this, dude?" I was like, "We live in a wealthy ass area." I mean, I felt like we could have just, I don't think our issue is funding. 'Cause we lived in, like, a wealthy ass neighborhood in the suburbs of Atlanta. It's like, I don't think our issue is funding so we can buy the latest equipment. I think our issue is we need more black people, dude. Statistically, we are significantly below the average African American population for high school football teams. What if you had, like, a what if they had a picture the movie Moneyball, but it's, like, kinda racist? They're like, statistically, the last 25 championship teams had 2.7% Dominican players, and we only have 1, so we need to get at least 1 to 2 more Dominican players. What if they, like, statistically broke down what they need based on race? Like, the average between the last 20 state champions for football in our area had an African American player population of 38%. And we are at 15%, so we need to go get more black people for our football team. They're better at football, dude. We're just gonna act like they're not? It's not racist. I fucking I want more of them on my team, dude. Fucking straight up. It's not even racist. Some of my fucking favorite athletes of all time, like, almost all of them are black. It's not a lot of honkies. Not a lot of honkies. Yeah. We need more black people on our football teams if we wanna be competitive. And if you think that's racist, DM me. I'll refer to you to one of my black friends. They can tell you how fucking chill I am. 'Cause I'm not even racist. I just went through a whole history lesson on black excellence in boxing, and you're gonna bring that shit to me? Hell no, dude. I'm just trying to compete on the football field. I'm just sick and tired of watching guys that can't even run a 5-second 40. We're playing at such a slow pace. You know what I was thinking about earlier? It's funny that in the Michael Jackson song, Smooth Criminal, where he was creeping in the bedroom and the sound of a crescendo. He talks about like a murder scene and describes it with a crescendo. I need to pull up the lyrics. As he came in the window, it was a sound of a crescendo. He came into her apartment. He left the bloodstains on the carpet. To describe a fucking crime scene, it's like, I heard a crescendo. Then I heard some bass as he was punching her in the stomach. There's a lot of bass. Boom, 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 boom. Crescendo, screaming. I heard some treble. There was a little bit of treble. That's fucking bad shit. Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay? I heard crescendo and bass. A lot of bass as he was hitting you. And crescendo from your screaming. Annie, are you okay? There's a sound at the window that he struck you. A crescendo, Annie. Just referring to murdering someone with the sound of a crescendo. I don't know why. That's fucking making me laugh. Was that the sound of of a crescendo? Crescendo. Huh. Hmm. Crescendo. The loudest point reached in a gradually increasing sound. The highest point reached in a progressive increase of intensity. A gradual increase in loudness. It's just a fucking funny word, man. Crescendo. It was used in like musical terms, right? Yeah. Yeah, it is like music. Yeah, okay. It does have to do with music. I was gonna say, what the fuck? Hopefully I didn't just riff on something retarded. Yeah, it's a musical term. Okay. That is fucking funny. Was that the sound of a crescendo as he was killing you? I could hear the sound of a crescendo as he punched you in the stomach and stabbed you. Oh, shout out to the crescendo. Shout out Annie. I had some other stories that I wanted to get into, but I already did some boxing storytelling, so I might save those. I'm gonna do a lake house comedy retreat sometime in the next few months. Just gonna get a sick ass lake house and throw out an invite to some comedian buddies and just fucking rage for a couple days on a lake. Sick ass lake house, dude. I'm pumped for that. I'm getting fucking pumped. That's gonna be fucking sick. I think when I get old, I think the plan is to. Well, I already have a shitload of equity built up in this house, but once this house is fucking paid off and I'm old, I'm retired, is to sell this, take all that equity, dump it into uh, a lake house, nice lake house, and just retire on a lake. Lake life is where it's at. Beach life is sick. It was either beach house or lake house. But the beach I love the most is the Gulf of, Gulf of America now, but, down along, like, the Alabama, Florida coast, um, around, like, 30A to Orange Beach, that area. But but hurricanes scare me, dude. I don't wanna drop all my money into an area where hurricanes can just fuck my shit up, you know? There's not a lot of hurricanes happening on lakes, but there's a lot on the Atlantic Ocean. So, I don't think I wanna retire on the Atlantic Ocean or Gulf of Mexico. Mainly the Gulf of Mexico. I think that's where in that area. It's kind of a problem. Hurricanes are a problem. So I think sick ass lake house is the move, you know. That's the goal. The goal is to get my mama out of the hood. But thankfully, when I was born, uh, since I've been born, she was never in the hood. So shout out to my dad for taking care of that mission for me. Because that was my goal from birth was to get my mama out of the hood. But I just so happened to be born, and my mama was never in the hood. So mission accomplished. Shout out to my dad. All right, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about anymore. I'll save. I wanted to tell y'all about. I was talking to my buddy Travis about our Louisiana trip. Um, First time I did comedy in Louisiana in last November. It's like 2 months before I started this pod. I've referenced it probably some or a few times, but I just wanted to tell you about that trip because it was a really fun trip and got some funny stories out of it. Because I was talking to Travis about it. My buddy Travis, after his comedy show here in Auburn last week, we were just hanging out, and I was talking about it. I was like, "Fuck, that is like some hilarious stuff." And I was like, "I'm gonna talk about that on the pod one day." But I'll save that for maybe next week. Now, I did want to tell you about also how I dislocated my shoulder in my last sanctioned boxing match, and just what that whole trip was to Athens, Georgia. Because I fought like twice in Athens within like a few months. I think it was like 2 months apart. And in the first one, uh, I felt like something weird happened in my right shoulder. Like it felt like there was some clicking or weirdness, like something was messed up. But I kept training through it. Like I was just like, yeah, it just feels weird when I do arm circles or like raise my hand above my head. It just feels like something's clicking or not right. And then in that second fight, 2 months later, I dislocated my shoulder in the middle of the fight. But damn, I'm like giving so much away of that story. But then I like went to the hospital and got painkillers, and then immediately went right back to downtown Athens and drank a bunch and partied. So that's about it. That's about it. Okay, so I pretty much just told you that one. I went to Athens, fought a couple times, dislocated my shoulder. I was gonna give a lot more details on all this shit, but I just really gave you all the meat of it. The ringside doctor, dude, I had this guy out within like 30 seconds. I hit him with a nice uppercut right hand. It was a guy who like wasn't as experienced as me. Hit him with a good left uppercut right hand, and was circling in to close it. He got a standing 8 count. We're like 25 seconds into the fight, and I come out from the standing 8 count. The ref says he can continue. I come galloping out, and I was like, I'm going to throw a right hand so hard that it doesn't matter if his hands are up. Like, it's going to hit his hands so hard that he's just going to fall down because I already wobbled him with that uppercut right hand. So he might be back to normal, but I think he's still got a little bit of the wobbles in him. I'm going to hit him with something so hard that it doesn't matter if his guard is up or not. If his guard is down, it's going to destroy him. But if his guard is up, it's going to hit him so fucking hard that he's still going to feel it through the gloves and he's going to fall down. But as soon as I fucking threw that and my fist hit his gloves, something had to give. It was either his entire body, like his gloves and his head, like the force had to go somewhere, and the breaking point in the chain happened to be my shoulder that was clicking and not ready to withstand the amount of force that just came out of my body. And my shoulders pop, came right out. My my arm was just hanging, disconnected from my torso. And I like jumped and was trying to like get it back in. I like grabbed the rope, and the announcers were even saying like, "Oh, that's definitely a separated shoulder." And then I was like, "Fuck it." I just tried to like I tried to lift up my right hand and put it to my head and try to just keep it near my chin. And I was like, "I'm just gonna win this with my left hand." So the ref lets me continue. I just come out spamming jabs and left hooks, and my arm's just hurting like shit. And I'm like grinding my teeth. I have like pictures of my face. I'm like biting down, and I can see people in the crowd's face. They're looking at me like so concerned, but also like, damn, this dude has heart. Because a lot of people were coming up to me after and were like, dude, that was something, man. That was amazing. I wish I had video of it because it's pretty sick how my immediate reaction was just to keep fighting and that I could win this fight with one hand. Thankfully, it was an opponent that I think I could have. Because if it was somebody that was very dangerous, I was in such a vulnerable spot to where like I could have easily gotten very, very hurt. Like it was somebody that was dangerous. That's kind of why I had to quit. Is because if I can't trust my shoulder to stay in, I can't be in that situation in a fight. Period. Because my shoulder actually came back out almost a year later at a trampoline park, which is weird. I jumped into a wall and it popped right back out. That sucked. Um, it was totally gay. But so now it's happened twice. It hasn't happened in years and years and years, and I think it's way more stable. I've trained it pretty well, building the stability and strength around it. But I can't be in a fight with a dangerous person and have my shoulder come out because I'm not just gonna give up. I'm gonna try to keep going. And if somebody's very fucking dangerous and I only have one arm to fight and defend myself with, chances are I'm gonna get really hurt. And um, that's not just something you just fucking dust off and throw some dirt on the wound and keep moving. Like I can get fucking head trauma is head trauma, dog. You carry that with you, and I've had my fair share of it. I would prefer not to get any more. So that's why I had to stop. It's because I couldn't rely on my body anymore and my shoulder stability. And they're like, you can get surgery. It's not a guaranteed fix. A lot of people get surgery and it just comes right back out. So it's kind of a issue in boxing because there's so much overuse in the front side, the anterior side, that you develop a imbalance, which can stress out the shoulder joint. You're doing so much with your shoulders. I mean, we're throwing thousands of punches a workout. It's, that takes its toll. It's a lot of impact and stress on the shoulder. But the ringside doctor afterwards um, said he couldn't get it back in. He was like, I have to go to the Athens Regional Hospital. So I went out and told my buddies, I was like, hey, can y'all take me out to the hospital? And I was like, we're going right back downtown. Like we're going to the bars after. Like I want to party, obviously. I was like, that's both times after I fought in Athens, I fucking partied. It's like I got more tore up the first time I was there. Um, but yeah, I was like, we're going to the hospital. I'm getting my shoulder put back in and some pain meds, and then we're going right back downtown. So I got fucking perked up off the pain pills. And then we went right back downtown and drank. And I had my shoulder strapped to my chest, basically, kind of like just over my but like over my waist, kind of like I don't really know how to fucking describe it. It's just strapped across my chest. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm fucking too geeked up to fucking describe it. But it's like in a brace strapped to my chest, and I just had that on. I just had that underneath a polo shirt, so it looked like I just had my arm inside my shirt the whole night. I had my left arm just out, and I was using it to like drink, and it was working double time. I was just fucking getting drunk in downtown. But the thing is, they gave me a pain prescription that I needed to fill. They gave me pain meds at the hospital, and they're like, "This will keep you good. You can get that prescription filled tomorrow." So I partied through the night, feeling all right, off the adrenaline of the fight. Then that all kind of rhymed. And then the pain medicine from the hospital. They gave me some good shit, so I wasn't feeling pain. I mean, I was feeling all right, you know. That and the drinking, I was feeling all right until bedtime. Bedtime was kind of rough. It was kind of sore. And then the morning after blew dick because I was hungover. My arm hurt like shit. And I was like, I need to get this prescription filled, but I guess I'll just get it filled when I get back to Auburn. But I'm hungry as shit. I didn't eat anything last night after the fight. I just went and drank. So I stopped at Waffle House in Athens, and one of the nurses was like, "Can I cut your waffle for you, honey?" And I was like, "Don't worry about it. I got it." But she like felt bad. She could tell I was like, I still had my arm like strapped across me. That was nice of her, but I was like, "No, I got it. Don't worry about it." I was just hungover. Um, and then I drove to a QT, a Quick Trip, and parked like in front of the store. And I think I tried to change. Yeah, I did change. I changed in the back of my I changed in the back of my Yukon because I have tinted windows. But that was a fucking bitch, dude. Cause I forget why I changed. I was in like clothes from last night or something. I don't know. But I needed to like change into a new outfit. I don't know why I changed, but I'm pretty sure I did change. And then I went in, I got gas or something, and then I got gas, and then I just pulled forward in front of QT and just slept. I was just like, I need to go to bed. I just need to sleep. I'm out of it. And I woke up like an hour later or so, maybe 45 minutes to an hour. I can't recall. And I was just in pain. I was like, I haven't had pain medicine since the hospital last night. And I was just like out of it. And I was like, I need to get back to Auburn. And I've been sitting in front of this QT for too long. And like people had like probably looked at me when they walked by. I was like, who the fuck is that guy sleeping in his car? I looked like a fucking insane person. And I drove back to Auburn with one hand and one arm. And I didn't even go home. I went uh straight to the CVS near my house and got my pain prescription filled, sat there and waited for it, and then just started popping pain pills like it was going out of style until the fucking script ran out. And then I went back to the hospital here in town and got another script, which I didn't think. I think that was not. My mom was like, "That's not the way. You don't go to an emergency room to get pain pills." I was like, "Hey, I abused all my pain pills. And I need more. My arm hurts like shit." My mom was like, "No, that's not how you do that. You're supposed to go to like your primary care physician." And I was like, "I don't care. It's an emergency, dude. I need fucking pain pills. My arm hurts like shit." And I took all mine. I took all mine way faster than I was supposed to. All right. So I gave you one of the stories of dislocating my shoulder and partying, which is, hey, that's how my boxing career was supposed to go out. I was supposed to go out swinging with one arm, with another arm dislocated, fucking flopping by my side, putting on a show, fighting with one arm, grinding my teeth through the pain, and then taking a bunch of pain pills and drinking at bars with my buddies and fucking eating Waffle House and falling asleep at a gas station. At a Quick Trip, not just a gas station. A Quick Trip. That's important. That's how you end a fucking career, dude. Then you drive back home to Auburn, take a bunch of fucking pain pills. That's how my boxing career ended. Hell yeah. It was a damn good time, though. The lessons learned. And I'll give you the Louisiana trip story next time. Glad I got to give you at least one of the stories. I could have. There was more meat in that Athens story, but I covered pretty much all of it. You know, it's not bad. I covered all of it. All right, guys. Y'all have a good week. I'll see you next week on TKO with Scott Walker. Bye. Love you.